Everyone wants to be successful, but not many people can. And if you're one of those people who truly want to succeed in life, then this video will break down the three main components of creating a mindset for success. This is what I use to actually create this mindset and overcome the limiting beliefs that I had as a child. And if you want to make this video actually valuable and good for your life, then I would recommend taking a breath, getting a pen and paper, and being present. So the three main components that we'll be covering today are the following, which is the subconscious conditioning. This is the very thinking patterns themselves that have led you to today. And if you aren't happy with today, and if you aren't happy with the last 3 months of the new year, then this video will show you how to change that mindset, the deepest levels of your thinking, so that you can prime yourself for success and actually have a new year that won't be like last year, that won't be like the last year before, but will be completely different. In 5 months, 6 months, you will see a life that you have never seen before. And that comes from the deepest levels of your own thinking, and that is the subconscious. So that's number one. So number two will cover the conscious beliefs that you have. This is to do with everything that you want. It comes with affirmations. It comes with what you want to believe in, specifically the things that you are extremely interested in, whether it be testosterone, success, getting women, being charismatic, just being consistent. These are the things that you can control, the simple thing that you can do every single day that we'll talk about very soon. So number one is the subconscious, number two is the conscious, and number three has to do with the temptations. It is your willpower, and it is conscious willpower. How we'll be doing that, I will cover, and I am promising you right now that is the most important part. It is the ability to do the hard work when you do not feel like it. That is what a man is. If you want to be a man, and if you want to transition from being a boy to a man, what you have to think about is not thinking about your emotions, how you feel. How you feel when you are extremely saddened or extremely in pain, and how you feel in those moments, because that should not actually determine whether you should go out and do a run, whether you should start this new business, whether you should start a YouTube channel, whether it should be whatever entrepreneurial thing that you're thinking of right now, and the boundaries and the mental blocks and walls that you've placed up in your life. And we'll go in straight away right now. So I hope you have that pen and paper and ready to listen. Number one is subconscious conditioning, and this can manifest in many ways, but the most prolific thing that has ever happened is the fear of failure, in which you are afraid of the criticism that you will get from making mistakes. Because growing as a kid, you had parents, family members, friends, and teachers who have all given you an extremely negative response to making mistakes. And you thought that if you make a mistake, then your position in your tribe will be jeopardized, that your relationships and that the way you think about yourself and how other people view you will change simply because you've made this mistake and now you're seen as an idiot or something. And this is something that we have to change from the very subconscious level, because we have grown to think that we shouldn't make mistakes and that everything should be perfect. And one of the number one symptoms that occurs from this is procrastination and perfectionism. And if you have had trouble with deadlines and you have had trouble with, doing things straight away, that is what it is. It is because when you were growing up as a kid, you've been so conditioned to believe that you have to have had everything perfect. Because I'm sure our parents have had the best interests for us and just thought that, if you don't make the mistakes that they made, and if we learn from their mistakes and not ours, then everything will be perfect. But that's not how things work. We have to make the mistakes ourselves in order to learn. And one thing that I've realized is that if you want to actually get better at something, you have to accept that you're gonna suck at it. And that conditioning that we've had as children are the number one thing stopping us from actually succeeding, because we're not even starting. And starting starts with believing that it's okay to make mistakes. My personal story is that my dad was an extreme micromanager, meaning that he really didn't trust me with anything, including any sort of mistake I made and things that I would want to do. So every time I made a mistake, maybe I misplaced my water bottle, maybe I did this, because of his high standards and because of his interests for me, all that came out was criticism and negative feedback every time I made a mistake. And it just made me think that I shouldn't make mistakes. And adding on to this, screen limits on every single device that I had, getting a phone when I was like in year 12, when I was basically 18, meant that it just felt like everything was just trapped. And I felt like a dog on a leash, and that's what it was like. And I really had to change that way of thinking, change that negative view of making mistakes to actually live on, to actually do things. Because what happens as a result is that in your own home, you're afraid of going into the fridge because you're afraid, what if I eat something that I'm not supposed to? It's so important from the very start, if you want to actually succeed, to change that subconscious conditioning. And how I did it was through sleep hypnosis. I literally remember for months on end in 2022 putting on the same exact video on not giving an F about what other people thought. And I'll list it in the description, but this is what I used every single night for months on end. The same exact affirmations and sleep hypnosis that allowed me to change that thought pattern, of really caring about other people's opinions, because that's what it is at the end of the day. The fear of failure and everything that comes as a result, which is a lack of success because you'll never start, procrastination, perfectionism, all of these things that just really detriment your own growth and progress. These things were completely eliminated simply because I stopped thinking about other people's opinions, including my dad's, including my mom's, including every single friend and stranger at my school. Because what happens when you do not care about everyone else is that you start to do things simply for yourself. And genuinely think about that. Doing things for yourself. Like, it sounds really simple, but when was the last time you truly did that? When was the last time you didn't care about anyone else's opinions and you approached that cute girl on the bus? You approached that, like, guy doing like some extreme training on the Muay Thai, like whatever, and you actually talked to them, started a conversation, or you did something for yourself, like get a gym membership. And it's so weird that me telling you guys that, like, doing things for yourself is the #1 way of creating success, because it's so simple. But we start thinking about it, and it's like, how much of our day are truly comprised of things that we do for ourselves, unapologetically for ourselves, without thinking about everyone else, without being burdened by the thoughts of our, like, family members, our friends, and what they would think if we did this, and truly doing it. I saw people start and be consistent with the things I want to do, and in 5 months they've achieved everything that they've ever wanted. And that is something that I want for you as well, and that is what I'm telling you. What you can do to eliminate this conditioning and to reframe your whole mind is to go through sleep hypnosis. Mindful Wave Studios is the YouTuber that I watched when I was a kid that allowed me to change this, to completely reframe and reprogram my mind for success. And sleep hypnosis will give you exactly that. And if you sometimes felt like you're a failure, and sometimes you felt like this or that, and you're like, your mind is broken, then this is it. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's that everyone else has conditioned you into a place where you never wanted to be in your life. And if you continue through it, you will live a life for everyone else but yourself. And what I really had to accept was, for me to live, I had to die for everyone else. #2 is conscious belief. And these are the things that you're interested about. This is testosterone. This is the social interactions that you're gonna have. This is the way you hold yourself, the positioning of your own body and the posture you hold in both your mind and in your body. Conscious belief is so important, because on top of the subconscious conditioning that you're gonna do through sleep hypnosis every night, conscious belief will be the secret to forming the things that you want in your life. It's the secret to believing the things that you can achieve. You know, I'm sure you've noticed that I am Asian and I have a beard. And, you know, like some people may make the excuse like, oh, I'm Mongolian and that's the reason why I have a beard. But not a single member of my family and extended family members, including the like grandparents and great-grandparents that I've seen, have a speck of facial hair. I did this myself, and I remember literally every day walking to school doing the same conscious belief affirmations on I have high testosterone, I am an alpha male, like I don't care about other people's opinions, and I can grow a beard. And it sounds so weird, but genuinely telling yourself that you can do it changes everything. It's this ability to actually believe in yourself and believe in the impossible. And so many people have told me that, oh, you know, as an Asian, you can't grow a beard. And so some of my friends who are Asian have said the same thing. But I am a living embodiment of the fact that it is simply through your brain and the way your brain works that you can actually accomplish things. And by walking in the morning and just doing some affirmations, you can genuinely change your life. You can grow a beard. You can increase your testosterone. You can be charismatic in situations. And how you can do that right now, an actionable step, is by writing some things that you're genuinely interested in, whether it be in the physical, the social, maybe it's, whether it be in the physical, the social, the mental, you write it down. It can be to do with your facial hair. It can be to do with your height. It can be anything. And what I'm working on is the height part. I believe I can grow taller, and I don't think it's genetics. And I remember someone saying, like, what is the point of believing in things that take power away from you? I believed I could grow a beard, and I grew a beard. Everyone else can do the same thing. And this isn't some mumbo jumbo witchcraft garbage. I believed, and then I put actions behind it. This video is to create the belief so you can actually create the actions. Don't think simply because you do some like sleep hypnosis and affirmations that you're instantly gonna succeed. This is simply the framework that will allow you to do the actual actions and disciplinary things that will bring success, that will bring the full head of beard. Because I didn't grow this beard by simply willing it. I also put minoxidil on. I also derma-rolled. I did that for a year before I saw progress. And it's so weird with progress. You're never going to see it until it's become such a big part of you. And one day it's going to be like, oh, I have a beard. One day it's going to be like, oh, I've been training for the last like 8 months. I've just won gold. Conscious beliefs that you have will genuinely change the way you see the world. And if you can change your conditioning, which is number 1, your subconscious conditioning, with number 2, the conscious belief in yourself, the belief that you can do anything, the belief that if someone told you to do 500 push-ups every single day from now on, that you'll just do it because you're that type of person, then that is what you say every single day. And it can be anywhere. It can be in the mirror. It can be when you're making breakfast. What worked for me was getting 3 or 4 affirmations that I would tell myself repeatedly on my walk to school. And I remember doing things like literally screaming in public in order to get through the crippling fear of social anxiety. And it works. Just doing things simply because you can works. I remember jumping into the harbor simply because I can, and it's a crazy thing, and it's genuinely a symptom of craziness. But I have never seen a single crazy person care about other people's opinions. And maybe that's exactly what you need. And going on from there to number 3, and the most important one, and that is the conscious willpower. That is your ability to go through hard situations, and that is that like grit, right? Successful people, and what do they have? Grit. This ability to go through hard situations and not quit. Genuinely not quit, no matter how hard it gets. And that's what I want to preach today, my friend. I want to preach about not quitting on the hard days. And how you can do it is very simple. I'll give you the actionable step right now so you just don't get like me ranting for the next 5 minutes. The actionable step is every single time you have a hard situation, think of a single mantra that you're going to tell yourself to go through it. What I did was this. In year 12 and in the final exams, I was crushed. No. In year 12, we have final exams and the assessments throughout the year. And I remember not doing the assessments well at all, and I was failing almost every single one, bottoming every single class. And what I did was this. I just started to do things for myself, and I started waking up at 5 a.m. and just studying and then sleeping at 10 p.m. And every single morning when I thought I couldn't do it and I would be constantly covered by darkness, I wake up in darkness, I sleep in darkness. And in those moments when it was hard, when in the mornings I thought I couldn't do it, I told myself this simple thing, and it was, I will do the hard work every single day, regardless of how I feel. Whether it's raining or whether the sun is shining, I will do it. That is what I told myself every morning. And that is exactly what you need in order to succeed. It is a mantra, a intrinsic motivation that you can give yourself in the hardest of situations. And if you can motivate yourself when it's hard, you're certainly going to be able to do it when it is easy, when things are going well, when you've succeeded. And this ability to actually go through these hard situations aren't just defined by your genetics, it's defined by how much you want it. And the actionable step I told you is to create a mantra. You can use mine, right? You can use mine, you can look through motivational videos and see what inspires you. That's what I did. I went through motivational videos, and I remember specifically what Andrew Tate told me, and I heard that and I thought, I resonate with that. Your mantra has to be something that you resonate with. It can't just be something you search up and it's like, oh, this is supposed to be motivational. You have to resonate with it, to the fact that you can say it every morning, to the fact that you can say it whenever you are not feeling like you want to do the work. That is what willpower is, and that is what changing your mindset consists of. It is the subconscious conditioning. It is the conscious beliefs in yourself. And number 3, and the most important, is when it is hard, you have the ability to motivate yourself. You have the ability to not quit, but go forward. Those are the 3 things that consists of a successful mindset that I did to genuinely change the way I thought from just a normal 14-year-old to something so different. I've never met a person in my life who have had the exact same thinking patterns as me. And I don't think I will for a while until I can actually get to a more successful point. I hope this helped, and I hope that you genuinely found value from this. Share this if you think that someone else would like this, and check out the other videos. There might be something interesting.